The Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful day, but the drama in Genoa City is absolutely off the charts, and we need to dive right in. Grab your coffee or your tea, because we have a massive, heartbreaking situation to unpack today, and I have so many thoughts. I am literally shaking right now. I cannot believe they did that to Nikki Newman. I mean, we all saw the headaches coming, right? We all watched her rubbing her temples for weeks, brushing it off as just her multiple sclerosis acting up. But this is completely next level. And I am so emotionally devastated, I can barely type. I am sitting here late at night, just staring at my screen, trying to process the absolute bombshell they just dropped on us. I've been watching this show for years, like I have been religiously tuning in since 2015, and this is easily one of the most terrifying, gut-wrenching twists they have ever pulled on a legacy character. And can we talk about Nate Hastings for a second? Because I am so furious with him. I am actually seething. He knew. He actually knew what was going on with Nikki, and he just kept his mouth shut. Like, what kind of former doctor does that? Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and set the scene, because my mind is racing in a million different directions right now. So Nikki has been having these blinding headaches. We've seen Victoria practically begging her mother to go see a specialist, but Nikki, being the stubborn Newman matriarch that she is, kept insisting it was just a flare-up of her MS. She was so defensive about it, but the truth is so much darker. The scene where her vision actually starts to go, oh my God, the way the camera blurred, the sheer panic in her eyes, the way she was stumbling and reaching out for something, anything to hold on to. Melody Thomas Scott is an absolute legend, and she acted the heck out of that scene. When the light just faded and everything went completely black for her, I was screaming at my screen. I felt my stomach drop into my shoes. It was pure, unadulterated terror. Because imagine being in her shoes. You are losing your sight, everything is going dark, and you are completely helpless. And then in steps Nate Hastings. Nate, who is supposed to be this brilliant medical mind, even if he traded his scrubs for a corporate suit, Nate, who has known about this terrifying condition the whole time, but didn't have the guts to say anything. Am I the only one who thinks Nate should be banished from Genoa City for this? I know some people still love him and want him to be redeemed, but personally I am so done with him. How do you look a woman in the eye, a woman who is essentially family, a woman who is the matriarch of the most powerful family in town, and hide the fact that she has a fatal, blinding disease? But he is finally forced into a corner. When Nikki goes completely blind in that moment, the sheer panic forces Nate to finally spit it out, and the diagnosis is a total nightmare. He confesses that she has this horrific, aggressive disease, and the prognosis, permanent blindness, or worse, she could literally die if she doesn't get this highly dangerous surgery. Die. Let that sink in. I mean, I know they aren't going to kill off Nikki Newman. She is the heart and soul of The Young and the Restless. But the emotional weight of this storyline is crushing. Hearing Nate say those words, seeing the absolute devastation wash over Nikki's face, it broke me. She completely collapsed inward. All that Newman pride, all that strength she has built up over the decades, just vanished in an instant. She is terrified, and she has every right to be. And then we have Nick and Victoria rushing to her side. Oh, my heart aches for Nick. Can we please give this man a break? He just survived a literal car crash because he was driving while high on fentanyl. He has been dealing with the psychological torture of Matt Clark, the amnesia games, the trauma of almost losing Sharon and Noah in Las Vegas. His brain is already a fragile, traumatized mess. And now he has to sit by his mother's bed and fear that she might go permanently blind or die on an operating table. It is too much for one person to handle, but seeing him there, holding his mother's hand, trying to be the strong son when he is completely broken inside, and it was beautiful, but so painful to watch. Victoria is just as devastated, but in her classic Victoria way. She is the ice queen, the tough CEO, but seeing her break down over her mother is always so jarring. She has been the only one pushing Nikki to see a doctor. She knew something was wrong. You could see the guilt and the anger fighting for dominance on her face. She is probably going to absolutely destroy Nate for hiding this, and honestly, I am here for it. I want Victoria to unleash her full corporate and personal wrath on Nate Hastings. He deserves every bit of it. Actually, maybe Nate was just scared. I mean, Nikki is intimidating and maybe she swore him to secrecy at some point. No, wait, I don't care. He's a medical professional. You don't keep a fatal diagnosis a secret just because the patient is stubborn. He is a coward, plain and simple. He let her walk around, driving, living her life, while a ticking time bomb was going off in her head. And this brings me to my biggest frustration of the entire night. Where is Victor? The great Victor Newman, the man who claims to protect his family above all else. He has been so incredibly busy trying to ruin Jack Abbott's life, teaming up with Diane Jenkins, of all people, and playing manipulative mind games with Phyllis Summers, that he didn't even realize his own wife was losing her sight right under his nose. I know they are separated and things have been tense between them, but come on. Remember when Victor confronted her about the headaches a few weeks ago? And the conversation just turned sour and hostile because they can't be in the same room without bickering right now. The irony is just sickening. Victor is out there orchestrating these massive, petty vendettas, trying to control the world, while the love of his life is sitting in a room, terrified, surrounded by darkness, facing her own mortality. When Victor finds out about this, and more importantly, when he finds out that Nate knew and kept it from him, there will be hell to pay. Victor's going to tear Nate apart, limb by limb, and I'm going to grab my popcorn and watch. But back to Nikki. I keep thinking about her history with MS. Remember years ago when she was first diagnosed? The storyline where she couldn't play the piano anymore, the tremors in her hands? It was such a beautifully done, grounded storyline about a woman losing her physical capabilities. But this new twist, this is soap opera, drama, dialed up to an 11, blindness, and a life or death surgery. It feels a little sensationalized, but I can't deny that I'm completely hooked. What is going to happen with the surgery? Are they going to do a fake out where she wakes up and still can't see? You know, they love to drag these medical storylines out for months. I am dreading the weeks of hospital scenes, the beeping monitors, the tearful conversations in the waiting room. But at the same time, I am so ready for the Emmy-worthy performances we are about to get. Melody, Thomas Scott, Joshua Morrow, Amelia Heinley, they are going to act the house down. And how is this going to impact the rest of Genoa City? If Nikki is incapacitated, Victor is going to lose his mind. He might actually drop his ridiculous vendetta against Jack to focus on his wife. Or, knowing Victor, he might double down on his cruelty because he's projecting his fear and helplessness. He can't control Nikki's disease, so he's going to try to control everyone else around him. I just can't get over the image of Nikki's vision blurring. It was so visceral. It made me feel claustrophobic just watching it. And the way she reached out for Nick and Victoria, needing them to anchor her because her entire world had just disappeared. It's brilliant writing, I have to admit, even if I hate seeing my favorite characters suffer. So what do you guys think? Am I overreacting about Nate? Is there any excuse for what he did? And do we think Nikki is actually going to go through with the surgery immediately, or is she going to be stubborn and refuse it out of fear? Because let's be real, Nikki Newman does not like being told what to do, even by a surgeon. But she is facing death here. She has to do it. I am going to be a nervous wreck waiting for the next episode. I need to see Victor's reaction. I need to see Nick and Victoria rallying around her. And most of all, I need to see Nikki fight this. She is a survivor. She has survived cults, shootings, alcoholism, and Victor Newman's endless drama. She can survive this. She has to. Okay, I need to go calm down and maybe rewatch that scene to see if I missed any clues. This show is going to be the death of me, I swear.